Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you are all good. Today we'll discuss chapter number 3 and the chapter name is Interacting with the Computer. And at the end we will also discuss the question answers of Viva Sheet number 3. So the objectives of this chapters are to explain how to computer works and discuss different devices that are used to interact with the computer. So today we will see how does a computer work. The different parts of a computer have separate functions, but they are all work together to complete a task. A computer system consists of the many parts that make up the computer. These parts are divided into input devices like keyboard and mouse, output devices like monitor and printer, and the CPU, where all the memory is present and all the data is processed. How do the parts of a computer system come together to work? To do any work on computer, we have to follow these three simple steps: input, process, and output. This is also called IPO cycle. IPO stands for input, process, and output. We can use simple examples from our daily life to understand the IPO cycle. Okay, for making orange juice, the input needed for making orange juice is oranges and juicer. The process involves the juicer taking out the juice of the oranges, and what we get as output is the orange juice. Here is another example. For sharpening a pencil, the input needed is a sharpener and a blunt pencil. The process involves turning the pencil in the sharpener, and the output is a sharp pencil. So the computer has three basic functions: input, processing, and output. Input is data that we feed into the computer. An essay is an example of data that we feed into the computer. The devices that we use to send information or enter data into the computer are called input devices. These include the keyboard, mouse, microphone, touch screen, stylus, light pen, and joystick. Process means working on the data according to the given instruction. CPU processes the data. When the computer converts the data into information, it is called processing. Output is the processed data that we see on the monitor. The spelling mistakes underlined in the red are displayed on the monitor. This processed data is output. And devices through which we can view processed data are called output devices. These helps the monitor to give us information. The monitor, printer, speaker, and headphones are the most commonly used input devices. So, I hope you understand these three steps. Here is Viva Sheet number 3. This is from chapter 3 and the chapter name is Interacting with the Computer. Question number 1 is define input, and the answer is input is the data that is fed into the computer. Question number 2 is what are input devices? The devices that we use to enter data into the computer are called input devices. Define output. Output is the processed data that you see on the monitor. Question number 4 is what are output devices? The devices through which we can see the results are called output devices. And the question number 5, which is the last question, is define processing. When the computer converts data into the information, it is called processing. So that's all for today's lecture. What you have to do, you have to memorize these questions and answers, and don't forget to note down these questions and answer in your notebook, or you can take out the print of this Viva sheet and paste in your computer notebook. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.